Hey Toy fans, I'm D21Beast and welcome back to my figure review series here on my YouTube channel. And as you can see, we're moving along here with the Uncanny X-Men Minimates set released by Art Asylum and Diamond Select in 2015. Now the X-Men in these Minimate sets are of course based off their appearance on the cover of Uncanny X-Men number 275, where the X-Men got costume redesigns courtesy of Jim Lee. Now of course these costumes were based off their original costumes appearing in X-Men number 1 back in the 1960s, but these costumes did appear off and on throughout the decade, and even later appeared during the X-Men Reloaded event in the mid-2000s. Now I'm a big fan of the X-Men and I love that these things are coming out. I've reviewed 2 of these so far, so if you haven't seen them, definitely check them out, link in the description below. But now we've got Strike Force, Storm, and Avalanche. So with all that info out of the way, let's say we get started by taking a look at the packaging for these figures. As you come down the front of this box, you do have the Uncanny X-Men logo in the upper left and the Minimates logo off to the right. You've got a label announcing that there are bonus parts to build Psylocke in this package. You then have a window bubble packaging that does house these figures inside as well as their accessories. On the bottom left you got an image of Storm, and on the bottom right you have an image of Avalanche, and in the center you've got the Marvel logo. And flipping this package around, you've got the Diamond Select and the Art Asylum logo towards the top. You then have the logo for Marvel and Minimates. You then have a complete lineup of all the figures currently available in this wave. In the lower left you've got a bio for Storm. Go ahead and pause now to read that. And in the lower right you've got a bio for Avalanche. Go ahead and pause now to read that. Alright guys, well that's the packaging. Let's say we get these merry mutants out of the box and see what they're all about. Alright toy fans, so here we have Storm and Avalanche out of the packaging, and if you're looking at that Storm minifigure and think her hair's kinda short, well that's because it was during this time. Back in X-Men number 272, during the Extinction Agenda storyline, Storm actually went through somewhat of an arduous process that ultimately left her bald, completely without hair. Humorously, it was only a couple issues later that she suddenly had short cropped hair in X-Men 275, and it wasn't much longer after that, X-Men 281, when she suddenly had a long flowing mane of white hair again. I don't know how Storm was able to grow her hair that long, that quickly. I guess she's got a latent mutant ability to grow her hair out or something? I don't know, that's comics I guess. But I do think that they captured the look of the short cropped hair Storm very nicely on this Minimate figure. There's tons of sculpted detail on that hairpiece as we spin her around. And I do think that the paint applications on the face are very nice, and even the paint applications on the torso. Now the detail on this Storm Minimate is certainly familiar. It's the same as we saw in the costumes with the Jubilee and the Banshee Minimates that I've already reviewed. It's also worth noting that the Storm Minimate figure has much more of a mature female figure printed on the front than we see with the Jubilee Minimate figure, so they didn't just copy the same sort of paintwork over between both female figures. Now let's go ahead and look at that Avalanche figure. I think the Avalanche looks really nice. I've got one complaint about this guy, and it's that my Avalanche figure tends to have some offset eyes. I'm kind of bummed about that. You'll see that while the mask is pointed down straight over his mouth here, the eyes are just off to the side a little bit. Fortunately, I was going to go ahead and buy 2 of these Minimate packs anyway, because the Storm figure comes with extra parts to build her into Psylocke, and I wanted to be able to have both mutant heroines without having to switch the pieces back and forth all the time. But back to the Avalanche figure, he's got some nice armor and even some silver paint applications and even some great screen printed graphics on the front, and you're able to remove his head. You can see here, first of all, the mask, or the face that he's got I think looks really great, but then you can pull off his head and underneath, we actually get sort of a retro Avalanche costume, which I think is a nice touch. We also get some shoulder pads here that we can actually connect to this Avalanche figure. Let me just go ahead and snap those on here. And then you've got sort of a less bulkier version of Avalanche with the A on the chest. I don't remember where this costume specifically comes from, but it's nice to have the options to switch to him. Now on top of the interchangeable shoulder piece, Avalanche also comes with these 2 pieces of road, which I think is kind of interesting. They are not able to be held in his hands at all, they are the exact same piece and they're painted the same way. I guess you're just meant to display them near the Avalanche figure to kind of make it look like he's causing an earthquake. And while the pieces look nice for display, I do wish that there was something more that I could do with them. Storm, on the other hand, comes with these electric pieces for her arms. I guess they're meant to imitate her lightning. They are sort of designed in a curved form here. I don't know if that's coming through on my camera. And I guess they're meant to clip onto her arms. I don't think they clip on incredibly well, and I probably won't be posing my Storm too much with these pieces. I do wish that they were handled just a little bit better. But then Storm has the extra pieces to turn her into Psylocke. So you can go ahead and pull off her head. It comes off pretty easily. And then we just grab the Psylocke head over here, and you'll see here that we do have a nice Psylocke head with some sculpted hair. It's in a ponytail, and it's got a nice face on there. And we're going to go ahead and put this right on the Storm body. It switches on very easily. And then Psylocke actually comes with her Psychic Knife. Now the Psychic Knife accessory I do wish was handled a little bit differently. You can see here there's a hole in the bottom, and what you're meant to do is pull the hand off your Minimate figure, stick that hand inside the hole on the Psychic Knife, and my thumbs are going to completely cover this because the piece is so small, and I'm sorry about that, guys. But as you kind of wiggle and shift and jam and push, you should be able to get this hand into the Psychic Knife piece. It is pretty difficult, and I do wish it was easier. And here we have Psylocke with her Psychic Knife attached. Like I said, very difficult. Wish they would have done that differently. Once I have a duplicate of this figure, I'll probably put her Psychic Knife on and then just never remove it. And I forgot to mention that Storm also comes with this nice flight stand.
Whoa, that flight stand's like totally major, you know?
Moving on to Articulation, these Minimate figures are exactly what we've seen before. Their heads are on ball joints that do rock all the way around. They can look down that far and back that far. They've got ball jointed shoulders that spin all the way around, single jointed elbows, rotations here at the wrist, articulation's the same on the other side. They've got a waist swivel, a hip joint so their leg can move forward that far, move back that far, a single jointed knee that bends back that far, and a full rotation here at the ankle. So pretty standard, but again, a very nice range of motion for such a tiny little minifigure. Height-wise, these Minimate figures do stand right about 2.5 inches tall. For some size comparison, here we have these Minimate figures compared to the Mega Bloks Spider-Man. Here they are compared to Creo Transformers Cheetor. Here they are compared to a Lego minifigure. Here they are compared to the average-heighted Wolverine Minimate figure from the Marvel vs. Capcom 3 Minimate toy line. And finally, here they are compared to a Minimate from the original Minimate figure line released in 2002. We've got Captain Kirk from Star Trek. Alright, toy fans, well that's my review of the Uncanny X-Men Strike Force Storm and Avalanche Minimate 2-pack released by Art Asylum and Diamond Select in 2015. Overall, I'm really happy with the figures we're getting in this Minimate 2-pack. The Storm, the Psylocke, the Avalanche, but really I'm kind of let down by the accessories. Those Storm lightning pieces just don't work for me. The rock chunks of the Avalanche are nice, I guess, but you can't really do anything with them. And that Psylocke Psychic Knife is absolutely frustrating. I really wish it would have just given us an interchangeable Psychic Knife hand, much like the interchangeable charged card accessory we got with the Gambit Minimate figure back in the Banshee 2-pack. It's just too difficult to put on that Psychic Knife. Maybe I'm an outlier with the trouble I'm having with accessories, but I have a feeling you'll experience the same issues too. But I do think the figures that were chosen for this 2-pack are significant enough that you definitely want to give this box a buy. Well, thanks for watching this review, guys. I hope you enjoy it. If you like what you saw here, please feel free to rate, share, subscribe, and we'll catch you next time.